Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another day, another adventure. Every day is an adventure in my life, even though today we are just gonna sit down in my living room and we're gonna do a little chit chat, catch you guys up a little bit on what's going on. I know a lot of you have been asking for my flight attendant journey, and I called off sick this week because I had a really bad cold. I was throwing up. I could not breathe out of my nose. It was just not a good look overall. I figured since I'm feeling better today and I called in well for the rest of my block, I would go ahead and do a little story time, I guess you could say, more so about my flight attendant journey, because I know some of you are curious on how I became a flight attendant, how I wanted to become a flight attendant, and just everything that had to do with my journey up to this point so far. So let's go ahead and get started. If you're new here, hi, I'm Dev. Every day in my life is a devventure, so I always say another day, another devventure. I'm a flight attendant for a mainline domestic carrier, so that's pretty cool. I do a lot of weekly vlogs. I do a lot of flight attendant vlogs. So if you like stuff like this, definitely like and subscribe down below, and hopefully you'll want to come on more adventures with me because I'm Dev and these are my adventures. Let's get into my little flight attendant journey story time. So I graduated high school in 2014. And I always knew that I really loved to travel. It was just something that was in my blood. Super fortunate to have my parents that took me on really awesome vacations. And growing up, I always thought it was super cool waking up in one state and falling asleep in another. And since our family all lives in New York, I was just like, oh my God, this is so cool. Like, I get to wake up in Buffalo and I get to go home and fall asleep in Tampa. And like, that's pretty cool. Or vice versa, like I'm waking up in Tampa and I'm gonna fall asleep in Buffalo. In the back of my mind, I always thought that was a pretty cool concept, but it was never like, I want to do this for the rest of my life. Graduate high school 2014, and I thought that I wanted to go into education because I thought, it'd be super cool to be a teacher. As soon as I graduated, I realized that I really don't like kids and I really don't want to teach. I got injured my senior year dancing, ended up with a herniated disc in my back, so I went to physical therapy and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. This is kind of like teaching. And I thought about being either a physical education teacher or a history teacher. I knew that physical therapy had to do using your body. It's physical, and I knew I wanted to be a teacher. You're teaching your muscles how to be normal again. I was like, okay, this could be pretty cool. I was like, you know what I want to do? I love physical therapy. It's fun, low key, and they're teaching me how to use my muscle. Why don't I just make this a career? And then I thought some more and I was like, oh my gosh, why don't I be a traveling sports doctor? So it was like, duh, I'm gonna go to school to be an athletic trainer. Got a job at USF, and which is the school I just graduated from. You guys saw in the last vlog, finally 5.5 years later, woohoo! Well, USF doesn't necessarily have a athletic training bachelor's degree, so I had to do a stepping stone course, got a scholarship, went to community college, tried to go to UCF, got rejected from every college that I applied for, except for good old community college because I had a scholarship there, so that was pretty cool. But it doesn't matter, go where the money is, and the money goes at community college. It's cheap, you're getting your degree, it is what it is. I was able to stay at home, work full time, pay for school, what the scholarship did not cover. We get to USF, and I did an internship for a few years there with the team, because in order to major in athletic training, it's a master's program, so you have to do interning, you need to get your hours. So I talked to the people there and they're like, yeah, you can just work here and you can get paid to get your hours. And I was like, oh my God, like this is awesome. So I was working 2 jobs. I was dancing at USF, I was dancing at UCF on the weekend. Wasn't at USF because I did field season, I did indoor season at UCF. Go Pegasus, y'all are awesome. And UCF has always had my heart. Orlando always had my heart. I knew I was meant to be in Orlando. I just knew it inside me. I stay home, I get an internship with USF. I worked for 2 years there. And then, as you guys saw, I have a family reunion every other year. Going into my 3rd year, which would have been my junior year of college, because I was able to intern while I was at HCC. I had bought tickets to go to New York because I was not a flight attendant at the time, so I had to buy all my tickets. So I bought tickets to go to New York, and I bought them in probably like April because they're cheaper when you buy them super ahead of time. Come July, my family reunion is coming, and my boss texts me and he goes, "Hey guys, football season's about to start. We have practice and training and football camp." And football camp is literally a 7-day-a-week job, 3 weeks in a row in August, and it's low-key miserable, almost as bad as band camp, because you're just outside all day long, and it's so hot in Florida in August, and sometimes it rains, and sometimes you're soaked, and it was gonna be a hot mess. I was taking 18 credits online because I was so dedicated. I had a job working at Panera Bread. I had a full-time job. I was gonna take 18 credits online, and Panera was gonna work around my school schedule. That's why I stayed there all 4 years of college, pretty much because they're super flexible. So while I was working at Panera, they had sent me this text message, my bosses, saying, you know, like, here's your schedule, we need you every single day. But I had already bought these plane tickets to go to New York because of my family reunion, and that's like super important to my family, you know, like we go every other year, like this is a big deal, it's not a joke. So I was only gonna miss 5 days of practice all year long because Panera was working around the football schedule, and I was taking all my classes online, and I wasn't even gonna dance, and this was last fall. I text them and I let them know, like, hey, you know, I'm gonna be missing only 5 days of practice, but I'll be here for the rest of the year. You know, I won't be missing any other practices. I just bought these tickets in April. I was like, hey, I'm not gonna be here. I'm gonna be missing these 5 days, but I won't miss a single practice or game the rest of the year because I'm working my schedule around this. This is my sole thing because I'm gonna graduate and I need to apply to the master's program in the spring. Well, that wasn't okay for them. They didn't care about the last 2 years that I worked there. They didn't care that I was gonna be there the rest of the season. They absolutely needed me these 5 days of the year. If I wasn't gonna be there these 5 days, they were gonna fire me. And I was like, okay, I literally have a good rep here. Like, I always show up for practice. I come to extra practices. Like, I don't understand what the deal is. And they're like, sorry, if you're not gonna be here for those 5 days, unfortunately, we can't hire you back for the season. And I was like, okay, well, this is stupid, so I quit, forget it. And that whole thing was such a negative input in my mind. And ever since then, I knew like this industry was not for me. I had all these dreams about, you know, like goals are like being like the Dallas Cowboys athletic trainer, working for the Bucks, doing something in the NFL. Like, I wanted to be a football athletic trainer so badly. And I quit. I quit because these people were not giving me a choice. Either come to work or you're fired. It doesn't matter how dedicated you were for us for the last 2 years. It doesn't matter how dedicated you're gonna be with us for the rest of the year. You have a choice. You either don't go on vacation that you already bought tickets for and not refundable, or we're not gonna hire you back. So I said, fine, forget this, forget you guys, forget this internship. I want nothing to do with you guys. I quit, it wasn't worth it. I also forgot to mention that after 2 years of working at USF, along with the whole traveling thing, in 2016, I applied to a regional airline and I got flown out to Atlanta, Georgia, and I interviewed for a regional that was based out there, and they were hiring flight attendants for the Atlanta base and the New York base because they had just opened like the New York base for the regional. And I was so stoked, and unfortunately I didn't get it, and it was just like a super bad experience. I was super upset. So I was like, you know, like this wasn't meant to be. It was a crash and burn interview, and yeah, it was not it. But you gotta start somewhere. Decided to go back to school, decided to just put my flight attendant life on hold, and I will chase those dreams eventually. But for now, I'm just gonna go to USF. I'm gonna finish. I'm going into my fall semester of 2018, senior year of college. And I need to figure out what I'm gonna do with the rest of my life. I cannot work at Panera Bread forever. I need to pick a career. So I thought, you know, let me give this flight attendant thing another shot. I logged on to flightattendantcareers.com and I applied for everything regional, mainline domestic, mainline international, everything you could think of, I applied for. I didn't matter if it fit me, if it didn't fit me, if I had to move to Canada, if I had to move to Dubai, I applied for it because I knew that I needed to do something with my life. I applied to, I think, 18 different airlines last summer. Yes, 18 different airlines. And I heard back from a few. There was a specific regional that I had set up an interview with. I was so excited to go. It was the week before school started. I sent in all my information and they lost it. Come time to leave for the interview because they had to fly me to Charlotte, they didn't have anything on me. And I was like, I sent my stuff in like 2 weeks ago. And they're like, yeah, we don't have anything. Unfortunately, since you missed this interview, because you didn't send us anything, but I did, we'll go ahead and schedule you for the next one. And I was like, okay. And you know, I really wanted to work for this airline. They had a base in Tennessee. I thought that was gonna be so awesome, living in Tennessee and whatnot. I set it all up, and then it's literally the Friday before school starts. And if you get flight attendant anything, you literally have to basically drop your life and go to flight attendant training. They pay for it, they house you and whatnot, but you literally, if they say go, it's kind of like they say jump, you say how high kind of. I'm getting so nervous about this interview. Like, I don't know, like school starts on Monday. I'm not gonna have enough time to make a decision. What if they don't let me know by then? Come interview day, I was supposed to hop on an airplane from Tampa to Charlotte, North Carolina, and I did not go. And my mom was like, well, why didn't you go? And I was just like, you know, like, I don't know if I would have enough time to make a decision. I didn't go. So she was like, okay, you know, like, whatever. And then a couple weeks go by, near the very end of August, because school started like the second weekend of August or something like that. I took a test for one of the airlines, my current airline that I work for, passed the test. They called me, they did a phone interview with me at the very end of August. They're like, yeah, we like you, you answered everything we wanted you to, we'd like to offer you a face-to-face interview. Awesome. So they're like, okay, we're gonna fly you to Denver in October and your interview will be October 17th. And I was like, okay, you know, like, this is cool. And a couple of their airlines had me do video interviews and phone interviews for them. Another mainline domestic company reached out to me and they offered me another interview. At this rate, I had missed one interview for a regional and I had been offered 2 face-to-face interviews with mainline domestic companies. I was like, oh my God, like, this is awesome. I got this, I'm gonna get a job. I fly to Denver. I answer everything they wanted. I said everything that they wanted to hear. That sounds terrible, but I ended up getting a CJO. And if you don't know what a CJO is, it's a contingent job offer. So you don't get the job immediately, but you get an offer to training. And I was like, oh my God, I feel like I'm on the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders because, you know, they don't just get a spot on the team, but they get an invite into training camp. And that's kind of what it was like for me. I literally, when I heard my number called, I was like, oh my God, I got this in the bag. I know I'm gonna get this. And it was one of those like beauty queen moments, like when they're in the pageant and they're about to get crowned and they're just like, or when they win American Idol, or like I said, Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. That's what this felt like. I got the CJO. I was so stoked. So I had that in the bag. And then a few weeks later, I did a face-to-face interview in Orlando for a mainline company in November. Yeah, like I said, in November. I drove all the way out here super well. It went awesome. And I got a CGO for that company too. And the first interview that I went to, they were gonna email me and let me know when my training would be. Like, that's fine. Come December, they said, your training is gonna be January of 2019. And I said, okay, I will be there. The interview in November for that company, the training wasn't gonna be until March. And I said, okay. but I didn't have to give an answer right away because they were gonna let me know within a few months. They did not have any information for me at the moment. Move into training for my company, and on the first day, they let you know you have to get a 90 on every single test. If you're late, you don't get a second chance, you're out. If you get one retake on a written exam, if you fail your retake, you only get one retake, so then you're out. So I was like kind of sweating because that kind of makes me nervous. You know, you gotta get an A on every single test essentially, or you're done. In the back of my mind, I was pretty fortunate because I had this second CJO back on the back burner just in case anything happened in this training and I got kicked out for whatever reason. I had a second chance. I gave it my all, and I worked really hard and I studied, and it was really hard, but I passed, I graduated, I'm with the company still. And that was in January. Come February, I put down that I was moving to Denver, Colorado. I still had about a week in between leaving Florida and moving to Denver. I go back to Panera. I'm working my last week at good old Panera Bread. I get an email from this other company that I had the CGO for, the one that I did not graduate from, I did not go to yet. Unfortunately, they had let me know that the 2 bases that I had picked to work at were completely full and they were not hiring for those 2 bases. They literally have, I don't know, like 15 other bases, if that gives you any clue to what this company is. And I could pick to go to literally any other base except the 2 that I wanted. And I was just like, come on. And they have a base in Knoxville, Tennessee. And I was like, Casey, do you want to go? It's more money, but it's different. And he's like, no, I can't move. I have to stay in Tampa or in Orlando because of my job. And I was just like, fine. So I had to make the executive decision whether I wanted to go to training and move somewhere else or move to Denver and stay with a company that I had just graduated with. I emailed them and I let them know, unfortunately, I have decided to go in a different direction. This company is not for me at the moment right now. Go ahead and give my spot to somebody else that well deserves it. I appreciate the offer. I appreciate the chance. I respect your company, but my life has just gone in a different direction. And they're like, okay, you know, like, thank you for letting us know ahead of time. We didn't want to string you along. Come to where we are now. I have gotten my transfer to Orlando, obviously, which is pretty cool. We got a huge raise with our company. We got a new contract, so that's pretty cool. But this is a stepping stone for me. I know what my airline is. I feel like everybody has their dream airline. I like working here for now, but I have put into thought into applying to other airlines. So I have done so, and I will continue to do so until I reach my dream airline. If it weren't for those people at USF and wanting to fire me from my internship, I would probably still be going to school, but I just graduated 2 weeks ago. So I have my bachelor's. I live in Orlando. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I've always wanted to live in Orlando, and I'm here. And me and Casey love our little apartment here, and it's so fun. Disney Springs is our mall. Thus far, this is my flight attendant journey. I hope to continue it. I love making videos for you guys. I know it's not like the best, and it's just like my iPhone and a cheap little ring light from Five Below that was $5. Look, just one of these. But you know, it makes a difference. It's just me, my little tripod, and my iPhone. Hopefully I can upgrade for you guys in a little bit. And hopefully you guys like this video. So like I said, like and subscribe. I vlog all the time. I think it's so much fun. I always thought my life should be a TV show, and here it is, Deventure Vlogs. This is my TV show. Hopefully you guys have liked this vlog, and hopefully you will stick around for some more vlogs. But until then, I'm Dev, and thanks for watching my flight attendant journey. Bye guys.